Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I want to share things I'm unlearning. And this is part of the mini series that I'm doing as the diary of a 30-year-old. And I'm just documenting my life and the things that I'm learning and unlearning as I'm about to turn 30 years old this December. So I think age comes with a lot of things. And now I just want to talk about the things that I'm learning. I'm unlearning because I think with a younger age, there was like a lot of outsiders' influence on our life. And because we were young and everyone would tell you, oh, you don't know about that, you're very young. So over time, we like gave our thoughts and our opinions lesser importance. And we gave more importance to the opinions and thoughts of outsiders. So I think with age, then it comes unlearning all of that. And here are the few things that I'm unlearning. The first one is over apologizing. And I think I didn't realize how much I over apologize until I was aware that I say sorry almost every time. Like I could say sorry for breathing, literally. Like I say sorry that I did. Sorry for this, sorry for this. And then I realized that over apologizing comes from like not being sure in myself, not being sure if what I'm doing is the right thing, not wanting to make the other person feel uncomfortable, not wanting it's just like over compromising to like make the other person as comfortable as possible at my own expense. And then I end up over apologizing and saying sorry for like almost everything. And I think it just didn't serve me well. Also, it's not a good thing for my self confidence and self esteem in a way, even though if you do it long enough, you stop noticing how much you over apologize until you start being aware of like how many times you over apologize. And sometimes you're apologizing for things that were not in your control, for things that you did not even do them. Like you're just like, sorry, because you don't want to make the other person uncomfortable, or because you don't want to go through the confrontation. So I'm unlearning over apologizing and just being true to myself and like living things as they are. I'm also unlearning the idea of being a nice girl. I think as girls growing up, we're taught that being a nice girl and seeking peace is more important than being right. So sometimes you could be doing something that you know you're morally correct, this is what you want, this is how you want things to go. But because you don't want to seem very assertive, because you don't want to seem like very pushy, you still want to maintain that nonsense of like, oh, I'm being a girl. Then you just end up like being nice, and then you over compromise yourself so that people assume you're a nice girl, but then you're over compromising at at the expense of your comfort, so as the other people could be comfortable. So I'm just letting go of that idea. If people think I'm mean, let them think, for as long as I'm still doing things that make me feel like I'm being a nice girl to myself. So I'm just unlearning the idea of being a nice girl overall to please other people, and I'm leaning more towards the idea of being a nice girl to myself. So I'm prioritizing more the things that I actually want, not like what outsiders would want or what would make outsiders comfortable. I'm also unlearning the idea of being uncomfortable with confrontation, which means I'm learning to be comfortable with confrontation. Learning that because we're different human beings. We come from different backgrounds, different experiences, different exposure, and stuff like that. And because we are so different, us being in same spaces, let's say at work or maybe in a relationship and all of that, because we come from different backgrounds and different stories, us being together, there has to be some level of confrontation because we didn't have the same experiences. So everyone will have their own opinion. So just knowing that confrontation and that like people having their opinion which are different than yours is part of life. So I need to be comfortable with like knowing that confrontation will happen every now and then because people have different experiences, different thoughts, different opinions, different backgrounds. So I'm unlearning the idea of being uncomfortable with confrontation, and I'm learning to be more comfortable with confrontation. I'm also unlearning the idea that my worth is directly related to my work. I think I'd highly tied those two together. And then at some point when somebody criticizes your work, you would assume like it's an attack on your worth because you have interlinked the two and you think like everything they say about your work is what they're saying about you. So sometimes you just hate a person because maybe they gave you like a critique on something and you didn't like it, and now you think they hate you, and then you're making like that whole drama inside your head. You're tormenting yourself for nothing. So now I'm just just learning to like separate the two, knowing that my work is just my work and my worth is something else, and they don't have to be mixed. Like I could do a shitty job and still be a worthwhile human being, you know. And doing a shitty job, I don't mean like I could do a shitty job on purpose, because that's also is very subjective. Sometimes I could look at a work and think it's perfect, but someone else maybe won't think the same, because we don't have the same skill sets, we don't have the same skills level and stuff like that. So just, I feel like separating the two can really save you like a lot of headache, but also it saves a lot on your self-esteem. So another thing that I'm unlearning is just the idea of not talking about like taboo topics. Like I'm trying to like create a certain environment among myself and like the people I interact with, maybe my friends and like a few people in my life, to like be more comfortable to talk about the topics that in our societies are like deemed taboos. For instance, talking about sex and sexual experiences, or like talking about things like money, salaries, and stuff like that. Because I think like in those fields, a lot is hidden and there's a lot to be learned that you could learn from just conversation with other people. So just unlearning the whole notion of like taboo topics and just trying to be more comfortable talking about those things that other people would feel like they're taboos and stuff like that. In a nutshell, those are like the most key stuffs that I'm trying to unlearn. And I think I've unlearned most of them, but it's obviously an ongoing process because of human nature. Yeah, I'm curious to know what other things maybe other people are sort of like learning or unlearning with age, old time, and experiences and exposure in life. And that's my thoughts for this video. Until next time, adios.